Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day and you're excited to get into the Endless Mission with me. So today in this stream, I'm going to be playing some games in the Endless Mission, showing you what it has to offer. I'll be playing some user-generated games, things that players like you have made, and I'll be getting a little bit into the editor that's built into the Endless Mission to show you the tools that you'll be using to create levels for Dawn City Heist. So I guess without further ado, I will just jump right into it. And as I go, I will talk a little bit about the Endless Mission. I know a lot of you are probably new to it, so I will talk about just kind of the structure of the game and what you can expect. So here we are on the main menu, and there's a couple of different kind of game modes in Endless. So there's the adventure mode, which is kind of like the main story, and when you start playing Endless, it will kind of introduce you to that, but it's totally up to you what direction you go. And where you will start off is in the terminal, so that's where I'm going to go now. And from here, you have the Hall of Genres on your right, and that's where the game genres that are built into Endless are. So the Endless Mission comes with a couple of games that were built by the developers as examples of video games and things that you might be able to mess with in the Endless Mission. So those are over here on this side, and I will get more into that soon. And then on this other side are featured games that have been created by users and uploaded to the content portal inside of Endless. So that is where people can make games using the editor, and then they can upload them, and anybody else can look at those games and download them and play them themselves. And right now, anybody can go in and edit a game that anyone has made. So you can pull some random person's game and say, oh, this would be really cool if it had different props in it, or if I changed the game logic a little bit so that it has different rules. And you can go in and edit it. And then if you want to, you can upload that right back to the content portal as a new game. So you can access the featured ones from their portals over there, but you can also press escape and go to the content tab. And the game browser here is where you will find all those games. So all of these are things that users have uploaded. And I will be going over this again as I play some of these games to show you the kind of things that people can create. But first off, I'm going to go and play some of the games that are built into Endless. So let's start out with the platformer. So I'll let that load a bit. And this will be pretty familiar gameplay to anyone who's played a 3D platformer game before, like some of the 3D Mario games, or even like Spyro. And we have a little cutscene here with our protagonist. So what this does is establish the setting and the world and the character that you're going to be working with in this game. And this is, if you were at the Dishonored stream, something that a lot of games do, where they'll have an opening cutscene to kind of give you context and ground you in the world of the game. So now, the rules of this game: collect as many golden pineapples as possible within the time limit. And there are 6 of them, each in a different spot. But I guess I'll just have to explore to find them. So in this game I can jump. Be standard for platformers. I can move around. I have a third-person camera. And if I move the mouse here, I can rotate around Capitan Blackclaw, our protagonist. I can also double jump to get up a little higher. And it looks like I'm also collecting these red fruit. And Another thing that Capitan Blackclaw can do is she has like a dash headbutt attack. So if I left click, I can dash into things. Another way that these weasels can be dealt with is if I jump on top of them, I can head bop them, kind of like a Goomba in Mario. Let's see. I can see some stuff over there. I'm gonna go this way first. So this looks like a platforming challenge, where I'm mostly trying to make the jumps. Boink that weasel. And there's our first pineapple. Away from that weasel first. There we go. Down. 5 to go. There's also some more collectibles that I can see in the UI at the top of my screen in the middle. And I think... There we go. That's one. So I'm also looking for these shapely little gemstones. So they've added another little kind of short cutscene here to show me the challenge, and I think what that means is I can get that golden pineapple, which is kind of like a ghost transparent thing right now, if I get rid of all these guys. So let's try that. Whoop! Fell in the lava there. Let's try that again. Nice. Got it. So all of these things that you're seeing in this game are available to you to use in the editor. And you can even just open this game up in the editor and change things if you want to, which I will show a little bit later. Alright, we got 2 gems now. These guys. I see another ghost pineapple. I'm not really sure what I need to do to get that. Needed all the weasels over here, but haven't got it yet. Looks like more platforming challenge. Little trickier this time. So another thing that this game mode kind of does is segment the level into a bunch of different areas that are visually distinct. So what I mean by that is, right now we're in kind of this temple-looking area, and this is where I can tell I have all these platforms and I have to get up to the top. And that's one challenge, and one pineapple that I'll get out of that. But there are other kind of self-contained areas around the island where there are different challenges, and they look a lot different, so you can remember them easier. If they all looked the same, it would be more difficult to, for one, navigate. Like if you've ever been in a place where everything looks the same, it's hard to tell where you are. But it's also just a more memorable experience for the player overall, and it helps to kind of guide them and know how much progress they've made. Let's get all these weasels. So that's what the gems are for. I need one more, looks like. I'm trying to get to the top of this temple right now. Can I get up there? Wait for this moving platform. See another fruit down there, but I'll wait for it. Okay. Where's the next one? Right here? See ya, buddy. Oh, I see that gem down there too. That's another clever thing that Endless does, or that rather this platformer does, is you can see from vantage points on the island a lot of your other objectives. so that you're never really super lost. There's always something that you can see to take you to your next goal. Even though it's really open-ended, I can do these in whatever order I like. There's a pineapple. Got it. But I always can see something to kind of guide me along. Let's see, where was that other fruit? Get it? Got it. And I have 13 minutes left. I think we'll be okay. Snatch that. And now I have all the gems, so let's get back up to the... Oh. Not into the lava, let's get back up to the treasure chest looking thing. Here we go. What's in here? Pineapple. Perfect. There's something more to this, though. Slow, dramatic reveal. Okay, showing me up the volcano. Who's this guy? Well, I can see kind of a health meter, boss health at the top of my screen now, and I can't actually get this pineapple. So I guess I gotta go deal with that guy now. Let's get him. Whoa. Kind of hard to see, but I think he is dropping boulders from the sky since I woke him up. You hear them occasionally. There's one. Hard to see. Don't laugh at me. There we go. Whoops. Quite far enough. There we go. Alright. We are almost up the volcano. And trying to get all these red fruits. I have 15 out of 20 right now. Not bad. Ah! What is this? I have to time this right, otherwise it's going to push me off. Let's... out of here. The fruit before we leave. Let's get to the top. I'm just gonna ignore these guys. There was a boulder. Narrowly avoided. Another pineapple up here, that's nice. Alright. Whoa! Ooh, he hurts me if I go right into him. Gotta get out of his way. Let's try and bait him into smashing one of these pillars. Come on. There we go. Kick me, it says. Will do. This way, buddy. Come on. You missed. Come on. This one. Sir, I need you to hit this pillar. There we go. I think one more hit ought to do it. Get me. Come and get me. Keeps missing him. Please, come on. My guy. Someday I'll beat this boss. There we go. I think I got him. Nice. And just like that, another pineapple. But I'm missing one more, and I think it's the fruit. So I just need 2 more fruit. I saw one over here. Here we go. Sneaky little fruit. And there should be 1 more on the island somewhere. Now that we're at the top of this volcano, I can probably see it, I bet. Oh, way over there. Okay, let's do it. Fortunately, there is no fall damage. Whee! Okay. Back here. Let's move platform. Oh, buddy. Almost there. There we go. The snatch stats, thank you. Now that's that last. Oh no! Oh no! Well, there's our last pineapple. Did it. Awesome. So that is just one game inside of Endless that was created for the game, and you have access to that already. You don't have to download it. If you already have Endless, you have that game. So now let's try something else. Let's do the Racer. And when we play this game, it's probably going to look pretty familiar because Dawn City Heist uses a lot of the assets from the Racer. It uses them in different ways, but you will see where most of those assets, like the props that I use, come from. Loading screens. We have in the upper left a mini-map that tells you where you are on the map. I have health. Interesting. Not really sure what kind of damage I can get done in a racing game, but that's interesting. And on my lower left there, that is how fast I'm going. So if I hold down W, that makes me go fast. If I hold down S, that brakes. And now I'm in 8th place. Let's pick it up and get back in front where we belong. And in this city, you'll see some of the things I used to make the prototype level for Dawn City Heist. Some of these buildings, some of the direction arrows that here are telling you where you're supposed to go. I use that for the exit door in the heist building. There we go. This map also has power-ups like you just saw me use. And like I just got hit by, there's a shooty power-up. And I have, in the lower left, you can see I have an acceleration power-up, which I will use as soon as I get out of this curve. Really a great place to be going super fast. Oh. Come on. Okay. Fast. One cool thing that I like about this map is that there's multiple ways to go. And they've been carefully balanced so that they all are about the same speed. There's no shortcut that's like unfairly super fast, but you can choose where you want to go each time, and that's pretty neat. Get back in front here. 4th place. Come on. I also really like this view here where you can see the flying ships in the sky. Super cool. Back into the city here. This is another example where you can go multiple ways. There's kind of these sprawling city blocks where you can just weave in and out. Okay, I'm in 2nd place now. That's more like it. Lap 2 out of 3. There's a lot of just cool views in this map where they've designed the track to look really neat from different angles. So there's a lot of different spots on the track. Like even here where it's just a pretty straight part, you can see like the buildings on either side. You can see the stars and the clouds. It really helps build the atmosphere of the level and make it memorable. Let's get back in front here. Here's a spot where I was talking about there's a little shortcut here. And that's something that, in level design, building different little paths for players to discover and choose really helps the players feel a sense of agency. And that means that they feel like they're in control of what they're doing. And oftentimes it makes you feel really clever when you find something like that. Because it's fun to feel like you're in on a little secret and you found someplace that other people might not have. Come on. First place or bust. Let's do it.
You got this.
I got this. I also really like the jumps on the boosts. Those are always fun. What? Oh, I hit one of those. So that's the other power-up, is there's like a little electric puddle that stuns you if you hit it, which I haven't gotten any, so I can't show myself using it, but run into it. So that stops me in my tracks. Get out of here, son. One thing about this map is it is kind of long. It feels more like a Mario Kart kind of length than a shorter map, which, in my opinion, I think racing games are more fun if they're real people playing with you, or if they're really good AI, like Mario Kart has pretty decent AI. So this can start to feel, once you get in first and you've kind of solidified your lead, it can start to feel a little old, in my opinion, as a player. But there's definitely user-created examples that are shorter, and I'll show you some of those. So here I have the little thing, so if I click that, it places it where I am. I am flying in front now. That's another tough thing about racing games, is just balancing it so that it's hard to maintain a long lead. And even in commercial racing games like Mario Kart, it can be hard to balance for that. I know in Mario Kart Wii, which is my personal favorite Mario Kart, I would often get so far in front that nobody else had a chance. And that was especially true when playing on like easy AI or with other inexperienced players. So that was often frustrating for like my family members who weren't as hardcore gamers as I was. But we're almost there. Once I win this race, because I'm a pro gamer, I will show you some things that people have created that aren't devs, that are just players. And I will show you some of the ways that you can reuse things from this game and from the platformer and other games inside of Endless to make your own games and to build levels for Dawn City Heist, because that's what we're all excited about. That's what I'm excited about. I know I made it, but I'm excited. Oh, wow. Ran right into that. But like I said, I'm so far ahead that I think I can kind of afford to do whatever at this point. Here's something. What happens if I go off the side? They have logic in there that teleports you back, but it completely kills your speed, so it's a little bit of a penalty for doing that. Kind of like in Mario Kart, when the Lakitu lifts you back up and puts you back on the track. Let's get out of here. Across the finish line. Solidify my victory. Done deal. And so a neat thing about the racer logic also is that it will tell you your stats. It will record your total time, your best lap, and your worst lap, and it will show you that at the end. So, let's go back to the terminal for a second. And now let's look at some user-created games. So like I said, you can find these by pressing escape to pause and navigating to the content tab up here. And then if you go to the game browser, you can see games that people have made. And it will show you like a little picture that they've uploaded, the title of their game. It'll show you the user and the rating. since there's not a ton of users on here, mostly the ratings are just at the default 100%. And I won't be touching on these much today, but there's also an asset browser where people can upload assets that they've made, or even like chunks of levels. Like if you wanted to make a set of buildings that go together in a certain way, you could upload that as an asset. And then people can go in here and download them. So you'll see in Dawn City Heist, we have this NPC called Oni, and she has like some dialogue, and that is available as an asset that you can download here in the asset browser. But let's head back and let's find a game to play. So I'm gonna go, and you can navigate here with the arrows down here. The double arrow will take you all the way to the last page, which is they were uploaded the longest ago, and the most recent are on the front page. So let's go. I want to play one. I'm going to play Coin Collector. So when you click on a game, you can see more about the user. You can see when it was uploaded. This was uploaded February of 2020. And you can see pictures that they've uploaded. And there's a little description. This one's Race Against the Clock to gather coins as the level continues to evolve and unfold around you. Share your high scores in the Discord if you like the game. There's also a changelog. So you can see how many upload changes have been made. And this is another thing. If you upload a game, but then you're like, oh no, I left a bug in there, or there was something I wanted to change before other people play it, you can save it and publish it again, and it will publish it as an update. So it won't make another game in the content portal. It will just update the game that you already uploaded. So usually, if there's a game you haven't downloaded before, there will be a download button here, and you click that, and then it'll show a progress bar, and then it'll become a play arrow like this. I've already downloaded this one, so I can just click play. So this is a game that a user created using the existing assets in Endless, and some of the functionality that we have called smart conditions, which allow you to set game rules, essentially, without necessarily having to write your own code or script. So in this, hit E to spawn coins, WASD to move, space to jump. And this uses a first-person avatar, which we didn't see in the games that I played. Let's press E, and there is a coin. Now the level's been updated. So now there's a lot of things. It's just raining coins everywhere. Let's get as many coins as we can. And now there's bombs, too. What do those do? They destroy the coins. There's weasels. You get attacked by weasels. I just want money. I do have health. I think if I run out of health here, I will lose. So let's not do that. There's lava slowly encroaching on my space here. Things are getting kind of hectic. Oh joy, there's weasels after me. Run away! Run away! There's so much going on now. And it's kind of small in this game. Whoa! That's always a cool moment. The floor just drops right out from under you. But I was saying, you can see up in the top center, it's a little hard to see because it's just small black text, but that is the count of how many coins I have right now. Get all of these. Still more stuff just keeps happening. Weasels all over the place, there's bombs. There's so many coins built up now. Well, there's a whole pack of weasels after me. Let's just keep on running. And now there's lava again. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's a lot of weasels. And they got me, I think. Or that might just be the end of the time. Either way, final score is 237. That's not bad. So that was a pretty fast-paced game, and pretty short as well, but there was continuously so much stuff happening that it never got old. And that I thought was really neat. So let's try another game. Let's look. I'm going to play Weasel Raceway. Let's do this one. So this uses the racer logic, but a lot of assets from the platformer. So you'll see the kart avatars, the vehicles from the racer game have been swapped out in this for weasels from the platformer, which is pretty fun. And swapping out the visuals of avatars using the editor is really easy. I'll show you a little how to do that. But all the animations and the visuals of like the weasels or Capitan Blackclaw or the racer vehicles, you can just drag those onto an avatar and get rid of the old visuals. So now our vehicle selection is weasels. Let's go for the medium weasel. So it's still the racer logic. New map here though. And now we're running instead of driving, but you can still hear the sound effects of the engines revving. We still have the power-ups too, but this is a brand new map. These are laser weasels. Let's... Weasel crowds watching us. Weasel statues in the Weasel Temple. Pretty cool. Really fun just to watch the weasel models move around. They're goofy looking. So this map, it's worth mentioning, is a lot shorter than the original Racer, and that is probably for the reason I was talking about, where a longer map like that can kind of get dry, especially if you're in the lead. But here, I am continuously going in and out of the lead, and the map is so short that I don't get bored. Let's see if I can make first on this. I like the weasel crowds. That's a good touch. Another thing to talk about is, like I was saying with the original Racer, what makes levels memorable? And a big part of that is the atmosphere and the world that you build to kind of convince your player that they are there. So the original Racer is this kind of hard sci-fi cyberpunk area, which we have adopted for Dawn City Heist. It's a really like sci-fi cyberpunk game, but this uses a different setting. It's all assets from the platformer, which we played, but they've used them in different ways to kind of make this feel like a different world. So we're in the world where the weasels are the main population here, and they have their own society and their own culture. They have weasel temples with weasel statues, and they run weasel races with weasel crowds. And I think that's just really fun and cute. We're almost there. Third lap. Come on. I also notice he's still using the clouds from the Racer on the edge of this map, which kind of gives a nice atmosphere. I did it. First again. Pro gamer moves. Let's look and see if there's anything else. Oh, another thing. You can add music from any of the games. anywhere you want in your game that you make in Endless. Let's try one or two more. Keep Away is pretty fun. Keep Away is a frenetic, high-speed game where the objective is to touch a glowing electrical ball as many times as you can before time runs out. But it's not as easy as it sounds. A group of bots race around the field trying to keep the ball away from you. The better you do, the harder it gets as the bots evolve, adding lasers that can damage you. So, let's try it out. And this is a cool example of AI in an Endless that's not true AI. I'll show you in the editor, actually, how this works. But the bots in this game are really just objects that have an object mover script attached to it, which you don't have to do any of the code involved in that. It's just a component on the object that basically tells it to move to a specific location. And in this game, that location is the ball, which, as you'll see, makes this pretty hectic. So that glowing electrical ball is what we want, but that's also what all the bots want, and they're trying to keep it away from me. And those bots move really fast, which makes this pretty fast-paced. And that ding sound means that I've touched the ball, and I got a point. Now we can see they are starting to shoot lasers, which will damage me if I touch them. Got it. There we go. Come on. Come on. Doing pretty decent right now, actually. This game is tougher than it looks. And I might get killed by the lasers now. Pretty intense lasers going on. There we go. They got me. But I got 12, which is not bad. So let me... To show you what I mean, if you click the Open in Editor button, that will pull up this game in the editor view, which I have not touched yet. So let's look at the editor. So if you've used a game engine like Unity, this is going to be pretty familiar to you. You have on your left side what's called the hierarchy, and this will show all of the objects in the game. So everything here is contained in folders. There's one for avatar, and usually that means the player character, which in this case is a first-person avatar. I mentioned that a little bit in one of the games I was playing. So let's just zoom onto that. We can click Shift F. You hold down Shift and F with an object selected, that will focus on that object and zoom the camera in. And all that the first-person avatar is basically a capsule, which is their collider. It's kind of this pill-shaped thing. You can't see it in the game, but in the editor it shows up as this kind of green capsule. And on here is also the logic that makes it work, which is the scripts. So if we pull out this thing on the right side here, this is our inspector. And this shows you all of the detailed information about the game object. So we're looking at the transform up here. And a transform is what holds the position and the shape and size of your object. So in this case, the local position, that's telling us where in the game this object is. And if I change this, let's say 2, that will move it 2 on the x-axis, 2 on the z-axis, and you can see it move and teleport. And you can also use these kind of arrows emanating from the center of this object. This thing is called a gizmo, and this, if you just click and drag the arrows, you can move it around, and that's a lot easier if you're not super familiar with the numbers up here. You also have the local Euler angles, which is kind of a funky term. that just means rotation. That is what direction it's facing. It's kind of hard to tell with the first-person avatar, but if I take an object like, let's look, what else do we have? In our gameplay, we have the robots. They're called moving laser traps. Let me shift F to look at this guy. You can kind of see now. So if I change the Euler angles, like I'll make that 90, and that rotated him around. To change which gizmo you have, you can go in the upper left here. So this one is the transform, the translation gizmo, and this one is rotation. So this will give you this collection of circles, and that's one for each axis. So if I want to change which way he's facing, I can rotate him like that, clicking and dragging on that circle. Or I could do like that. That's kind of funky. Probably don't want him to look like that in the game. So let's change that back to 0 and that back to 0. There we go. So like I said, in our hierarchy here, we have a couple of different folders. We have the avatar, which is what the player is controlling during the game. We have the robots here, which are really just objects, like I said. That's just a box collider, which is what determines when things touch it. Do they go through it or do they hit it? In this case, I think it's a solid collider. Yeah. So things will not go through it when they touch it. It's like a solid object. And then it has, like I said, an object mover on it. And this will make it go towards the mover nodes that it's set to. And in this case, if I click on the node and then I select it in here, you can see that the mover node is on the ball. So all of that intelligence that we were seeing of these robots is really just go towards the ball, and it's all set by that component. But it really made it feel like you were playing against almost an intelligent enemy. And all of this is pretty complicated, but there are tutorials on how to use the things in the editor. If you look on the gray boxing task, which I just uploaded, I published that on the project portal. There's a link to some editor tutorials, and also you can feel free to ask me in Discord. I can post those in Discord if that's helpful for people. And those will go step by step through all of the stuff that I'm talking about. And if you want to go back and watch those again, or if you want to go back and watch this stream again, you can do that too. If you've used Unity or another game engine before, this is all very similar to what you'll experience there, which makes this a really nice tool for getting used to what 3D game development is like. There's another section of the editor that I haven't really touched on yet, which is the library tab. And this is where all the stuff that you get comes from. So the Endless Mission comes with a lot of assets built into it that are used in those game genres that I played earlier. So you can filter this library by selecting any of these buttons here. So I can say, I just want assets from the platformer. And I click on that. And now I'll get an alphabetized list of everything used in the platformer, which is a lot. There's a lot of things in that game. But I don't want music or images. I just want like models. So I can change the type here. You have entity, which is like a generic object. So any model like Capitan Blackclaw or a weasel or a rock, you'll find that in entity. If it has like a 3D physical form, it's an entity. If it's just logic, it'll be a script. So this Capitan Blackclaw that's in here is the script that controls Capitan Blackclaw and that handles things like her movement speed or her dash attack or her health. All of that is stored in that script. But it doesn't really have a physical form. It's kind of just an object that controls her behavior. And then if we change this filter to be material, it will just be a material which is like a flat texture that is applied onto 3D objects. You probably won't need to change these, but you might want to. And the way that you can do that, conveniently on this ball, there is a material manager, which controls what it looks like. So I have a color picker on this by default, and that will change the color of this ball, although it's transparent, so it's a little tough to see. Kind of tough to see in this example. I can show a different example of that later. Anyway, let's keep going through. Images are usually used for UI, so like the thing at the top middle of the screen that showed where the gems are, those were images. And audio is exactly what you'd think. It's music and sound effects. And animations you won't need to use because those are pretty specific to the things that are already created in the games. So like in the platformer, there was those cinematics where the camera like zoomed in and looked at the pineapple or looked at the Rock King boss waking up. Those are animations. So let's go back to entities. Let's say I want platformer. I want Capitan Blackclaw on this level. So if I click that and drag it out, I can just release and she will load into the level. And I can see her. Let's close this gameplay tab. In the hierarchy. So she's right there. And I have access to all these gizmos. Oh, I didn't finish talking about the gizmos yet. But now I can. She looks a little small. She's like really small compared to that ball. So let's talk about our third gizmo, the scale gizmo. And that lets you change the size of her. So let's make her taller. And that'll kind of stretch her out and make her look funny. Or I could make her really wide. But I want her to stay the same proportions. So I just set that back to 1, 1, 1, which is the default scale. And if I take the white box in the middle, that's all 3 axes at the same time. And then I can drag it up. And that looks about right. And that'll keep her at the same proportions that she was when she was smaller. So you can see everything that exists on this object if you click that drop down in the hierarchy. And you can see like her visuals, which is the model of Capitan Blackclaw. It also holds like her animations. The audio listener, which that's what lets her be able to hear the sound effects in the game. We have this trigger, which is for her dash attack. We have the camera rig that controls the third-person camera. This is her shadow that you see underneath her. And then some UI, which is for her health. So those are the hearts that you see in the lower, I think, left of the screen for Capitan Blackclaw. And this is true of any object that you find in the library. So you can drag anything you want out. If I want to go to the racer and I want this fire escape prop, I can stick that in the level. I can take, what else do we got here? A boost ramp. Sure, let's put that in here. It's rotated kind of weirdly. So I can take the rotation gizmo and fix that. Pull it up a little bit. Now, none of the things I'm doing right now are going to make this game any better because I'm just messing around. But if I wanted to, I could go up here and save as and call this, I don't know, let's call this my custom game and save it. And now we can, if we wanted to, if we thought this was a genuinely good game, I made this game way different and way better, let's publish it so that other people can play it. So you click publish and continue, and it'll save. And now we could take some pictures. That looks good. Let's put that. and you take the picture and drag it into the images for the game here. And this is version 1. And I'll put my own description, my game that I made based on keep away. And if I wanted to, I could publish this game and it would look like this. And then anyone would be able to access it from the content portal like I showed you. I'm not going to publish it because I don't think it is worthy of that. But now that you know how to do that, we got 8 minutes left, so I'm going to really quickly go into content and pull up the Dawn City Heist prototyping kit. So this is what you guys will be using to make levels for Dawn City Heist. And I'll download that. And I'm just going to play through it to look around and see what I give you in the prototyping kit. So this has the built-in UI for a Dawn City Heist level. It has your health in the lower right of the screen. It has the coins collected, target treasure collected, exit keycard found, and time spotted counters up on the top of the screen. And the avatar that I'm using to walk around is the same one that plays the game. And so primitive shapes here is what you'll be using to make the structure of the level, like walls or ceilings or props or things, shapes that you want to be the basis of your level. Now, obviously, in like the example level of Dawn City Heist, it wasn't just white shapes. It was actual props and like cool sci-fi looking walls and boxes and things. But that wasn't the first step. When you're making a level, you don't just start with all of the really nice, high quality, finished looking product. You build it step by step. And one of the steps, which is the task for this week that I'll talk a lot more about tomorrow, is gray boxing, also called white boxing. And that's when you use just these basic shapes to make the structure of the level. So I have, if you walk into the little boxes here, descriptions on how each of these things works. And this is made to make it kind of simple to get started making a level for Dawn City Heist. There's gameplay objects here. Some of these are invisible in the game, which I'm playing it in game mode right now, but in the editor you would be able to see this. There's a trigger that causes the player to win the game, and this is just a location where the player teleports if they get caught by an enemy. Here's an exit key door, and that updated the UI in the top. And I haven't got the target treasure, so I can't open that. Here's a regular door. Coin. And here's all the target treasures that you will be able to choose from. So each level should only have one, but you can choose which of the power crystals or the weasel, which I didn't realize was alive here. That's kind of grotesque. But and also the data core here. And a hiding spot. E, I can hide in there. And E again to unhide. And then here's our drone enemies. So this one moves in a rectangle pattern. If I stop moving here, that's easier to see. So he will just keep moving in that rectangle. And you can change the locations of each point on that path to make him move in a different way. And this one just goes back and forth. And these are already set up to work with this avatar. So if I were to get spotted, he would see me, his thing would turn red, and I will go back to the respawn point, which is right here. And finally, there is Oni, her NPC interactable, which is the same thing you see in the level where you can walk right up to her, press E to talk to her, and she has all her dialogue options here. And when you click the Let's Get Started, she will peace out and jump away. And then you can no longer talk to her. How much time do we got? I think we're right up near the end. I have 4 minutes. We're going to speed through this. So let's open this in the editor. And here's what you'll see when you open the prototyping kit. in the editor. So all of these are organized by their sections. These folders are kind of empty right now, and I'm using the simplified view, which shows me what I need to edit, but it doesn't show all of the nitty-gritty game logic things which you won't need to mess with to make a level. But these only have a couple of things in them because the level hasn't been made yet. And the prototyping kit folder holds all of the stuff that I laid out here. So when you want to make a level for Dawn City Heist, you can open this up, and if you don't want all of my descriptions that I put in here with the text that would show up on screen to tell you what they do, you can take this and disable in the transform. And you can even take this whole kit and say, I want to use this white ground for my level, so I'm just going to move this stuff over here so that it's not actually in my level. And I want to use this wall, and let's copy it, and let's paste that into our scene folder. Let's paste. So now it's still located where the original one was, but I can drag it back over here. Shift F to look at that. Kind of far away from the player, so let's put it over there. Now there's a wall. Let's duplicate that, make another wall on the other side. And just like I did before, I can take something from over here, like I want the ruby target treasure. So I will copy that and put it, I'm going to put this one in the gameplay folder. Paste. And then I will drag that over here. So now I have the ruby right there. And I can take one of the drone enemies, just do the back and forth one, copy that, and put him also in gameplay. And drag him over here. All of these funky looking walls that you see are his territory bounds. So if I were to get attacked by this patrol bot that I put here, and then I ran outside of those territory bounds, he would stop chasing me when he hits the edge of this. So you'll want to put those probably where the walls of the room that this bot is in are. That's how they're set up in the example level. So anyway, let's just play this. This is my goofy little prototype gray box level. And now I will see, there's my walls. And there's the patrol bot, and he's moving back and forth. And he can see me, but I can just move away and he will stop chasing me. And the target treasure is right here, and I can collect that. So that is, at a very basic level, what you will be doing to build levels for Dawn City Heist. Now, like I said, if all of this is really complicated, don't worry. There are tutorials to help you use the editor, and those are linked on the Make a Gray Box task. We're just about at time here, so I will kind of wrap it up there. But all of this information is on the task on the project site. And also, if you have questions, feel free to contact me on Discord or put a post out in Ask an Instructor saying, hey, I'm stuck, I need help with this. Feel free to put that in the Discord and communicate with us, because we're here to help. So I hope that you enjoyed watching me play through some of the Endless content, and that this was helpful for you in learning what the Endless mission can do. So thank you very much for watching.